you're still going to have people that need to do laundry.
Are you looking for a business investment that's easy to start, flexible, and cash generating? Then opening a laundromat is for you. Welcome back to Laundry Money. This is your place to hear the ins and outs of every step of the design, construction, and operation of your laundry business. I'm Max Brandstetter, podcast producer at Hippo Direct and host of the Wild Business Growth Podcast. And I'm here with Howard Shear and Rex Anderson from Lakeside Laundry Equipment, your guides every step of the way. Howard and Rex, how are you guys doing?
Hi, Max. This is Howard.
Hey, Max, this is Rex.
This is episode 3, and today we're going to get into just how profitable could a laundromat business be. So in this episode, you'll hear what a reasonable ROI looks like, some key market drivers. We'll look at some of the economic conditions and even some auxiliary income opportunities. So let's start off today with you, Rex. From the ROI standpoint, what can we expect if we're interested in investing in a laundromat business?
It's not unrealistic to expect returns upwards of between 25 and 35%.
25 to 35. Okay. And is that, what would you say are the biggest drivers that impact that? Because that's a pretty incredible number out the gate there.
The biggest factors that go into that, obviously, you have demographic studies, competition analysis, where the closest competitor is. You want to look at traffic patterns. Depending on the type of area that you're looking at, you could be looking for how far out should you look, in terms of a radius. If you're in a more rural setting, obviously people can come from a little farther out. There's people who drive further. There's people who have more access to cars and parking, in there. They have more access to space. So for that, you can look at between 5 to 10 miles, something a little more tightly condensed. Whether it be the inner city, whether it be suburbs, you might want to condense that a little bit. But anywhere between 1 mile to 3 miles.
Absolutely. And as far as that return, though, I mean, is this something that you can expect in the first year, or is this something like down the line, a more long term? I mean, when should you expect to see results in the potential return like this?
We always tell our customers, you should expect at least a 20% return on your initial investment minimum with other upstart costs.
But that's 20% in EBITDA that you can expect. EBITDA is earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, amortization. So really what that gives you, it's a true cash flow figure of how much you can reasonably expect to make every single year.
The challenge is for some owners, is to pay the loans down quickly to amplify their returns on the backside of the owning the laundry. After year 5, you will start reinvesting into your laundry in a new equipment and bringing out some of the old equipment, selling it on the secondary market to keep your laundry upgraded and fresh and new.
Fresh and new. It sounds great. I mean, it makes a lot of sense with the laundry world. So you guys spoke a little bit about some drivers in the market there. What would you say are the biggest key drivers to think about? What comes to mind there in terms of drivers that can impact your financial return on this investment?
No matter if it's a recession, great economy, you're still going to have people that need to do laundry. It's a fact of life. Until they make clothing throwaway, you wear them once and pitch them, then your laundries won't be impacted. However, downtimes when people are renting, your incomes go up. And at good times, they may even actually plateau out. So you have a leveled off income. Your baseline of building the stores are always based upon a conservative, or at least we do it on a conservative study, not a pie in the sky with maximizing every piece of machinery out there. The goal is to jump in with both feet at a current level of economics and understanding that if it goes up and down, it's not going to vary your returns very much. The only time we've ever saw a slight downturn in the industry, and I mean slight, was in 2008 when the economy was just devastated. However, it was only a slight downturn where everybody else was hurting. We were still cash flowing and still managing our stores.
Right. I think that's something that sticks out so much to me is I just can't imagine what it'd be like if I was not able to do my laundry. Like that's something that is just a basic need that you're always going to need to do. You're always going to need those clean and fresh clothes. At least you want to have clean and fresh clothes, but it's such an important need there. You alluded to some factors from a large scale economic standpoint that can leave an impact on your business. What other external economic conditions are there that may impact the laundry business? So you talk a little bit about whether it is, a recession or depression at that time. Have you guys seen anything else that has an impact, or maybe something that you thought might have an impact on the laundry business, but really it remained stable?
Absolutely. We saw the great economics where everybody was buying houses when anybody and everybody can get a loan. So everybody put a washer and dryer in their house and moved out of the apartments. That's when we saw a downturn. It was for a short period of time. That's during the lending. That's during when the lending standards were open and easy to get a house to anybody. And then it was the collapse of 2008. So before 2008, we saw a slight downturn also from a very good economy. But again, the laundry is very unique, and we can show any of our investors how steady and how the flow is year to year. It does not vary. It's truly a flat line with a few ups, rises, and valleys, but not many, not very deep, and not very high. So if you build the store correctly and invest correctly and manage it correctly, your numbers will always come in, as we say.
When you think about the revenue side of things, obviously it's the actual laundry and the actual act of doing your laundry, which is where I would at least think that most of the revenue comes from. But I know there's a lot of other income opportunities. Rex, can you speak about that for a little bit of what other income opportunities there are in addition to the machines?
Obviously outside laundry, there are several other auxiliary benefits that you could do. Auxiliary cash flow generating items, whether it be candy machine, games. Um, Howard's telling me right now, the massage chair. A couple of years ago, Howard had the idea to put a massage chair in our laundromat. I was kind of
Ooh,
skeptical of it at first, but I got to tell you, that massage chair in 2 years it paid for itself, and now it's pure cash flow. We haven't had to replace anything on it. Our tenants wipe it down daily, and I got to tell you, it shocked me how how profitable the massage chair was.
I was going to say massages and candy. That sounds like a pretty good combo there.
Yeah, I mean, what more could you want while you're waiting? Just massages and candy. And occasionally playing some games,
Right. And what kind of games? So you mentioned games.
arcade games.
Oh, arcade games. So
Yeah,
like the classics. Are there any kind of go to games that you've seen have actually worked really well in that setting?
people love pinball machines. I mean, they always have and they always will.
Kills the time during the wait between the wash and the dry. You can pretty much play one game of pinball and have half your dry ready to go. It's kind of a joke in the laundry.
That's funny because I never thought about it that way. But the whole act of doing laundry is, there's a very small percentage of that time that you're actually, actively doing something. And so much of that time is waiting around.
More times than not, you're just waiting. Yeah.
Right. What do you think is more important if you are an owner of a laundromat business, focusing on making sure that the machines and the active laundry process is, crystal clear and seamless, or making sure that, your guests, your patrons have enough to do and have a pleasant experience while they're waiting?
Most laundries fail because the owners or the people that operate them don't care. You got to keep a well lit, comfortable, clean, very clean laundry. If you have those three, your laundry will always continue to generate revenues as you expect. As soon as you lose your desire to keeping the store lit, well, clean, upgraded equipment every once in a few years, replace a few machines, add a few tables, chairs, new laundry carts. The simple things will make them keep repeating, coming back over and over again.
People will drive past poorly run laundries to come to a nice one, somewhere where they feel safe, somewhere where they're comfortable bringing their kids, where it's well lit, that has an open environment, that's well attended, and clean. Those are the big ones.
It's crazy when you think about it, that you'd actually drive by something that might be closer to you physically, but it makes sense if the customer service is that much over the top. And so those are some really good ways to maximize your profit there. What else comes to mind as what an owner or an investor can do to make their laundromat business as profitable as possible?
Well, there's also the factor of what kind of payments you want to take, whether it just be quarters, whether you want to take mobile app. You're starting to see more of that, more and more of that in the marketplace, or whether you just want to have credit card, Apple Pay, anything like that. We're seeing at most of our stores between 50 and 60% are all digital payments now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is definitely great, in terms of collecting. Yeah, and then also with the mobile app, you're able to build brand loyalty with it. With some apps, you're able to have promotions. You're able to have discount days, bringing people on the least profitable days. Whether that be Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Yeah, and you're able to iron out those peaks and valleys.
How about you, Howard? What else comes to mind when you think about tips and tricks for maximizing your profit?
Exposure. I don't think I've been into a laundry where I don't see some of my customers over and over again. I remember when we opened up, we gave out these simple laundry bags, and people still, after years and years, bring them back and say, "Hey, thank you very much." They'll even thank me years later, and how much fun they love coming here and knowing that they have an environment that they feel comfortable in, that they feel like home. We have a lot of our attendants become very personal and very connected with the customers. That is one of the things we like to ask them to do. Don't sit behind a counter. Make sure that the customer is always being attended. Make sure that things are picked up off the floor. If you have the on-site attendant, you can then accept drop off, which is actually a very good way to maximize their time at the laundry and also manage and help maximize your income, because you can go out and sell commercial accounts where we have a guy, I'll give you an example, who washes windows, and we gave him a deal that we'll wash your rags, you wash our windows. Again, comes back to
Hmm.
cleaning, keeping it clean and bright. He does it weekly. We wash his rags weekly. And that's a commercial account, which now gave us an idea to go out and look for other commercial accounts that you can do in the store while the attendants are picking up things.
And then also, just to piggyback off that as well, it also gives you more marketing material. So, for example, we use Yelp a lot for all of our stores, and for our wash, dry, fold, we'll actually have a call to action on the Yelp page where you can get a coupon, and you could show that you could show it to any of the attendants. They'll give you a discount on the wash, dry, fold. That brings more people into the store, and obviously increases revenues as well.
Yeah, those are really good examples. And I'm digging what you're saying from a customer service standpoint, because it's kind of making me think about like the difference between your everyday laundromat or just a more standard typical laundromat, and then those that are knocking it out of the park and super profitable, is that customer service and making it as enjoyable of an experience as possible. And so I think you shared some really amazing ways of making that happen.
So let me give you an idea of a location that we had built in the inner city, but it was near a hospital. The owner of the laundry was told to go to the hospital and advertise drop off service to the doctors and nurses. He had so much business, he ended up building a center just to do laundry, not at that premise, but close by, for the overflow of his commercial laundry, because he couldn't do enough at his laundry itself, the laundromat itself, because it was too busy. So those are the kind of incomes that you can bring in. Not saying that this for everybody, but it gives you the ability to grow your business within itself.
Right. Exactly. So that is plenty about the profit side of a laundry business. And in episode 4, we are going to get into the costs and expense side of things. So just before we get to that, a little teaser from you guys, Howard or Rex. What's the first thing that comes to your mind about the expenses on the laundromat business side?
Really, it's just knowing how much to reasonably expect that you'll have to put, in towards it, what the total cost of the project is going to be on a square footage basis, how to dig into financing, how to dig into, finding the right lender for you. And then also construction needs are going to be one of the biggest parts that go into that too, whether you're acquiring an existing store, or, building a brand new store, whether you're building a new store in a spot that already has, the infrastructure for a laundromat, or whether you're acquiring a location that may have been something else entirely, whether it be an auto parts store, a bar, and just totally retrofitting it to fit your needs. We'll dig into that.
That we will. Well, thank you, Rex, and thank you, Howard, for another episode of Laundry Money. And thank you, listeners, for listening to Laundry Money. You can bring your laundromat business to life by visiting lakesidelaundry.com/podcast and filling out the form. Until next time, keep it clean.
The numbers discussed in this podcast are based upon estimates and may vary from location to location. Past performances are no guarantee on future estimates, but are used as a guideline.